mean, I've been wearing 4 like my whole career.
Okay.
But when I got to Houston, D House had 4.
Okay.
Who are the most underrated and underpaid players in the NBA? One of the first names that came to our mind was Jalen Green. With his promising skills, we surely believe Jalen is underrated. Let's analyze his game so far. It's a stark reality that Jalen Green, despite his impressive performance and potential, will be the 159th highest paid player for the 2023-24 season. His salary, just under $9.9 million, is a fraction of what his contributions to the game and the market's demands warrant. Even with his rookie contract in place until the 2024-2025 season, it's clear that Green's current salary is a gross underestimation of his value. Green was picked 2nd overall in the 2021 NBA draft and has only played 2 seasons for the Houston Rockets. Green has proven to be an excellent scorer over his first 2 seasons, but he has struggled with efficiency and shot selection. Green averaged 22.1 points per game for Houston in 2022-2023 while shooting 41.6% overall and 33.8% from 3. In light of Green's 2023-24 contract, Brandon Miller, the 2023 2nd overall pick, will make more money this season than Green even before he has a chance to establish himself in the league. We think that makes Green incredibly underpaid and underrated. Many people think that player development is linear, but in reality, it's far from linear. It somewhat looks like this. It's unpredictable and volatile, and Jalen Green is the classic example of this observation. With a team that wasn't under any pressure in the championship, Jalen Green had a bright rookie campaign. He somewhat slipped in certain areas during his sophomore season as he faced challenges with a few things, including inconsistent coaching and weak supporting facilities. However, given their offseason actions, the Rockets were targeting a postseason run this year. So the heat was on. There was a hurry to give up on Jalen Green this season when he didn't make the next move. There were even cries for the Rockets to deal him to the trade market to see what kind of return they could receive. However, from what we've seen of him this recent stretch of the season, he appears to be a completely different player. Jalen Green has averaged 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists over his last 15 games. He's also shooting 48.2% from the field and 42.3% from 3 on around 10 attempts per night. Beyond simply having strong box score results, the best part of all of this is that it's creating wins. Right now, the Rockets are enjoying a 10-game winning streak, and a big portion of that success can be traced to Jalen Green. We've established that Jalen Green's scoring ability will be the starting point for everything. He is an amazing athlete. He is a really skilled ball handler who is extremely quick and has no trouble creating space to shoot. That's where everything starts with him. The fact that he isn't just scoring in isolation and slowing down the offense. Rather, he is scoring at a high level within the flow of the offense, and everything comes to him naturally is more significant than his ability to create shots. He takes advantage of teams choosing to utilize drop coverage against him while he is functioning as the pick-and-roll ball handler to create high-percentage threes. As the pick-and-roll ball handler over the last 15 games, he's hitting about 40% from 3, which speaks everything about his ability to exploit this drop coverage. In addition to his ability to shoot, Houston also designs plays that allow him to grab the ball off of old screens. This enables him to read defenses and determine the best move according to how they are set up. And when he emerges from those screens, you can truly see how proficient he has become at reading the floor. When he has the space and his defender becomes stuck on the screen, he can initiate those movement threes. If the defense withdraws too much, creating an opening for him to assault, he can utilize his incredible athleticism and burst to propel himself forward and get a clear view of the rim. He's been able to work in the in-between area for mid-range pull-up shots if the defense chases him off the three-point line, but they've created a strong defensive presence in the paint to try to prevent a drive to the basket. His 3-level talent as a scorer makes him much harder to plan against by default. In addition to having players given to contain him when he drives off screens, you also need to have guys run him off the three-point line and engage in screen fights. If his mid-range shooting becomes a consistent part of his game, as it has recently, you also need to make sure that someone will be there to stop that. Throughout the season, he is shooting 62% at the rim, 40% from long mid-range, 39% from corner threes, and 34% from non-corner threes. However, he has been shooting 67% at the rim, 44% long mid-range, 47% from the corner, and 42% on non-corner threes during the last 15 games. There's a significant improvement that turns him into a multi-level scorer who, depending on what you need him to do on any given night, can play both on and off the ball to be a versatile offensive threat. We may conclude that his improvement as a playmaker is due to the elite level of scoring he's achieved over the past several months. One of the most notable changes to Jalen Green's game this season has been his general improvement as a passer and playmaker, which was something many fans were expecting. The problem with Jalen is that, while he has no trouble making his shots, defenses will be much more focused on him. And now this will give Jalen the opportunity to convert his scoring ability into open looks for his teammates, which will result in extremely effective offense. Let's take a look at the game against OKC to see this in real. He would bring the ball up the floor, giving the impression that they were going to set up for a pick and roll. OKC would hedge against him in that play, and each time Green was able to make the right reads to get the ball to the open man, giving them the opportunity to take advantage of that initial hedge had created. As a key offensive facilitator, his ability to split two defenders and knife through defenses is one of his most valued skills. Green and Landale are your two defenders on the ball. When Brooks places this pin on the screen, Fred VanVleet flares up in the corner and Green splits the two of them and compels Jabari to help. There won't be anyone available to rotate and challenge that corner three after Green's drive thoroughly dislocates the defense. The driving threat typically demands assistance from the defensive backline. When he gets past Keontae Johnson, Jabari Smith Jr. will slide over, and Green will make the correct read to connect with the driving threat for the corner three. What truly allowed Jalen Green's overall playmaking ability to be unlocked is not just that he is a good enough scorer to draw this kind of defensive attention, but also that he is conscious of the fact that he is drawing this much attention. If you're not using all that defensive focus to your team's advantage, it's not really worth it. Don't get us wrong, all it does is force you to take a lot of contested shots. Jalen Green makes a good number of contested shots, but now that he's established a good look, he knows when to take those shots and when to give the ball to his teammates. He's been connecting on some extremely tight passing windows, which is a bonus. This means that even in situations where the defense isn't making many mistakes and is playing more disciplined against him, he can still create high-percentage looks by threading the needle through small, confined passing windows to take advantage of defensive blunders and openings. The foundation level of Jalen Green's game was scoring. We've established that, but what separates an all-star caliber player from a microwave scoring sixth man is that this was the next step that Green needed to take. The question is whether or not that score can serve as the main pillar and foundation of a successful offense. While Jalen Green's assist totals are still on the lower end, we don't think that will last long. In addition, the defensive attention he's been receiving will likely only increase once teams realize they need to be much more intentional about not giving up anything easy to him as a scorer. Perhaps one of his most notable recent improvements has been how impactful he's been as a defender. Green has been very much engaged on the defensive end, and while it's difficult to stand out on defense given how strong Houston's overall defensive infrastructure is, Green has been able to hold his own and avoid being targeted by opposing offenses, at least not successfully. He does a fantastic job of stopping drives without drawing a foul, and his athleticism, which he frequently displays on the attacking end, allows him to force block shots on the defensive end. He is an aggressive rotator, and even if he occasionally gets overwhelmed, as long as he can reliably play at least a neutral defensive position, his attacking contributions will vastly exceed any potential defensive drawbacks. Do you agree that Jalen Green is an all-star caliber? Tell us in the comments. That's a wrap for now. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please show your support by giving a like and sharing and subscribing. Remember, by subscribing to our channel, you're joining a community of people interested in amazing content like this. See you in the next video. Bye.